Listen up, brothers. There's a monster caged inside you, clawing at the bars of your mediocre life, roaring to break free and dominate the world. But you've locked it away with excuses, fears, and that soft, pathetic comfort that's turning you into a shadow of a man. Unleash the beast within or die forgotten in the herd, scrolling through someone else's victories while your potential rots like fruit, too scared to ripen. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the brutal truth from the trenches, where real alphas wake up every day and let that savage force loose to conquer, create, and crush anything in their path. I'm talking to you, the guy staring at this screen, feeling that fire flicker but smothering it with Netflix and doubts. What if I told you that beast isn't anger or rage? It's your raw, unfiltered power, forged in the gym, the boardroom, the battlefield of life, waiting for you to say enough to weakness. Hook yourself on this. Every time you choose easy, you chain that beast tighter, break them now, and watch empires crumble before your unleashed fury. Deep down, you know it. Society's lies have you believing happiness comes from chill vibes and safe bets, but that's the Matrix talking, designed to keep lions like you leashed as sheep. The beast within? It's the primal drive that built civilization. Cry committing to one deliberate, uncomfortable action that tests your limits, whether it's a grueling 5 a.m. workout that leaves your muscles screaming or confronting that feared conversation at work that could unlock your next promotion. These aren't random tasks, they're tactical strikes against the weak version of you, forging mental armor so thick that external chaos bounces off like rain on steel. Engage deeper, visualize your mind as a fortress under siege, doubts the invading forces pounding at the gates. How do you hold the line? By building daily rituals that weaponize discomfort, turning it from foe to ally. Andrew Tate style discipline demands you audit your mornings ruthlessly, ditch the endless scroll for a journal where you list 3 non-negotiable wins for the day, each one pushing you into the fire. Perhaps cold calling potential clients despite the rejection fear, or fasting through lunch to sharpen focus amid temptations. Why? Because true strength blooms in the breach, where laziness crumbles under relentless pressure. Hook yourself now. Every avoided battle costs you compound interest on your potential. Skip the gym today, and tomorrow's hesitation multiplies, chaining you further. Charge in, and that victory snowballs, transforming fear into fuel that propels you past plateaus others never reach. I've seen it in the trenches. Men who once hid from their shadows now lead charges, their inner battles won through consistent skirmishes that stack into unbreakable resolve. Make it professional. Treat this inner war like a corporate strategy session, mapping your weaknesses with cold precision. Identify the laziness triggers like late nights or sugary distractions and counter them with protocols such as pre-bed shutdowns at 10 p.m. to ensure peak recovery. Warriors don't whine about the fight. They prepare, execute, and adapt, using tools like meditation apps for mental drills or accountability partners who call out your slips. The payoff? That inner fire, ignited by these daily declarations of war, doesn't just warm you. It incinerates obstacles, turning impossible into inevitable. Hook locked, picture the man in the mirror 6 months from now, scarred but unbreakable, staring back with eyes that command respect because you chose battle over bliss, effort over ease. Surround this mindset with inspiration. Devour books on stoicism or Tate's unfiltered rants that remind you the world rewards the relentless, not the relaxed. No more half measures. Embrace the fray fully and watch as doubt dissolves, laziness flees, and your potential unleashes in waves of unstoppable momentum. This isn't motivation, it's mobilization, your call to arms in the war that defines your destiny. Discipline isn't some abstract virtue whispered about in self-help seminars. It's the forged blade you wield in the arena of life, slicing through the fog of distractions and the quicksand of excuses that trap most men in a cycle of mediocrity, turning dreamers into doers who command respect and results. Picture this. You're a general in your own empire, and without discipline, your army scatters at the first sign of resistance. With it, you march unstoppable, conquering territories others deem too treacherous. Hook into this reality. Society glorifies the hustle, but ignores the silent architect behind every win: self-discipline, the unyielding force that separates the elite from the echo chamber of someday promises. Andrew Tate embodies this weapon, rising from the grit of the ring to financial fortresses, not by luck or fleeting motivation, but by crafting routines that demand nothing less than excellence. proving that true power ignites when you stop waiting for the mood to strike and start manufacturing momentum through deliberate daily choices. Engage your core now. Imagine auditing your day like a CEO reviews quarterly reports, identifying the leaks, endless scrolling that saps hours, impulsive snacks that dull your edge, or procrastination on that pivotal email that could seal a deal. Discipline strikes first by eliminating these saboteurs. Set ironclad boundaries like a 10 p.m. digital blackout to reclaim sleep as sacred fuel, or batching low-value tasks into 20-minute sprints to free your mind for high-impact warfare. Why mornings? Because dawn is the proving ground where winners like Tate seize the initiative, rising at 4:30 a.m. to crush a workout before the world wakes. Not because it's easy, but because it stacks the deck, flooding your system with endorphins and testosterone that sharpen decisions all day long. Hook yourself deeper. Every undisciplined moment is a tax on your future self. Skip the gym, and that one lapse compounds into a weaker frame and fainter resolve. Enforce it relentlessly and watch potential transmute into power. One rep, one refusal, one triumphant no at a time. Professional mastery demands this precision. Treat discipline as your operating system, upgrading it with tools like habit trackers or accountability apps that log progress and expose slippages. Much like a trader monitors markets for volatility, structure your schedule around apex goals. Block sacred hours for deep work where you negotiate bolder, pitch sharper, or strategize with the ferocity of a predator, eliminating the fluff that dilutes focus. Tate's playbook? He doesn't chase motivation. He commands it, turning potential pitfalls like a failed venture into pivots through unswerving routines that rebuild faster and fiercer. This isn't punishment, it's empowerment. The sharpest sword carving paths where others see walls. Hook locked. Question the man in the mirror. Does your day reflect a warrior's code or a wanderer's whimsy? Align it now and feel the surge as distractions dissolve, excuses evaporate, and excellence becomes your default, propelling you from the pack to the pinnacle where only the disciplined dare tread. Integrate micro wins to build unbreakable inertia, a cold shower to jolt complacency, a focused reading session on strategy texts that arm your intellect, or meal prepping to fuel the machine without deviation. Over time, these forge an armor of self-mastery, where temptations bounce off and opportunities magnetize, transforming the raw ore of your potential into the gleaming steel of sustained success. In the boardroom or the bedroom, the battlefield of business or personal growth, discipline isn't optional. It's the edge that ensures you don't just survive the storm, but steer through it to claim the spoils. Picture this. You're in the Colosseum of life, sword drawn, facing a towering obstacle that blocks your path to glory. But instead of retreating like the masses, you charge forward with a roar that shakes the foundations, turning what could be your downfall into the stepping stone that launches you to legend. Brothers, life's hurdles aren't random cruelties. They're deliberate trials engineered to unearth your inner warrior, separating those who crumble from those who conquer with unyielding tenacity. Hook into this unshakable truth. Every setback is a setup for your comeback, but only if you refuse to quit, because victory isn't a straight line. It's a brutal gauntlet where persistence forges diamonds from coal under relentless pressure. Andrew Tate didn't ascend to his empire by dodging punches in the ring or financial pitfalls in business. He took them square, analyzed the sting as intel, and struck back harder, emerging not just unscathed, but unbreakable. A testament that true power blooms in the aftermath of adversity. Engage your resolve now. When financial drought hits or a personal betrayal guts you, don't wallow in victimhood. Dissect the defeat like a strategist pores over battle maps. What went wrong? Was it poor preparation, overlooked risks, or a momentary lapse in focus? Use that autopsy to arm yourself. Pivot your investments after a market crash by diversifying into resilient assets like Tate did post-setbacks, or rebuild. De-relationships through raw, accountable conversations that expose weaknesses and weld stronger bonds. Why? Because quitting whispers you're defeated, but tenacity thunders not yet, transforming temporary losses into tactical advantages that propel you leagues ahead. Hook yourself deeper. Recall the man at rock bottom, staring at bankruptcy or heartbreak. Does he fold or fuel the fire? Tate chose the latter, rising from near ruin to multimillionaire status by doubling down on discipline, proving that obstacles aren't stop signs, they're accelerators for those savage enough to seize them. Make it professional, approach hurdles with the precision of a CEO, navigating corporate turbulence, conduct post-mortem reviews weekly, journaling insights from failures to create a personal playbook of resilience tactics. Financial struggles, audit your cash flow ruthlessly, cut non-essentials, and launch side hustles that align with your strengths. Much like Tate's pivot from fighting to entrepreneurship amid legal and personal storms, personal losses like a failed venture or fractured trust, channel the pain into propulsion, network with mentors who've weathered similar gales, absorbing their scars as your shield, and execute micro victories daily, such as cold outreach that lands one new opportunity amid rejections. This isn't blind optimism, it's operational excellence where tenacity becomes your competitive edge in boardrooms or battlefields. Hook locked, imagine the rush after pushing through, muscles aching from extra sets, wallet swelling from recovered ground, spirit soaring as rivals falter. That's the warrior's high, addictive and amplifying, ensuring every fall launches you higher than before. In the trenches, tenacity isn't flashy heroism, it's gritty endurance, the quiet decision to rise fiercer after every knockdown. Tate's narrative cuts through the noise. From arrests to asset seizures, he didn't rage against the machine. He adapted, persisted, and profited, turning public scrutiny into a platform that amplifies his message globally. Apply this when obstacles loom, like a stalled project or health setback. Rally your inner counsel. Affirmations of I adapt, I advance, and track progress with metrics, celebrating the incremental wins that compound into conquests. Surround this mindset with fuel. Podcasts dissecting comeback stories, books on stoic endurance that arm your intellect against despair. No more excuses. Embrace the grind as your forge, where pain purifies potential and emerge not just surviving, but thriving in the arena you once feared. This tenacity isn't a trait, it's a choice. Your daily decree that no hurdle halts the beast within. Visualize this. You're navigating a stormy sea, waves crashing from every direction, but with a single unerring compass locked on your North Star, you cut through the chaos, emerging on shores of triumph while others flounder and sink. Brothers, in this era of endless notifications, fleeting trends, and digital deluges, your focus isn't just a skill. It's the supreme compass that charts your course to dominance, steering you from the scattershot wanderings of the lost to the laser-guided precision of legends who claim what's theirs. Scatter your energy like confetti in the wind, and you'll drift aimlessly, chasing shadows that vanish at dawn, but harness it with ruthless intent, and no storm, be it market volatility or personal tempests, can derail your destiny. Hook into this core principle. Distraction is the silent saboteur of empires, devouring time and diluting dreams. But focused warriors like Andrew Tate don't battle the noise, they ignore it, channeling their gaze toward the horizon of high-stakes victories, turning potential into power one unwavering step at a time. Engage your mind's eye. Picture your day as a battlefield where every ping, every urge to multitask is an enemy skirmish designed to fracture your front lines. Prioritize with the ferocity of a general. Star. By declaring war on the trivial, curate your environment like Tate curates his inner circle, silencing social feeds during peak hours, blocking non-essential emails, and designating deep work fortresses in your calendar for uninterrupted assaults on core objectives. Why? Because focus amplifies everything. A scattered mind juggles chainsaws and drops them all, but a honed one wields them as scalpels, carving out breakthroughs in negotiations, creative pursuits, or financial maneuvers. Daily visualization rituals seal the deal. Spend 10 minutes each morning, eyes closed, scripting your triumph in vivid detail, the close of that multi-million deal, the applause after your pitch, the surge of adrenaline as obstacles yield. Embedding that singular purpose so deeply it overrides distractions like autopilot. Hook yourself deeper. Every divided second costs compound opportunities. Scroll for 5 minutes and you've surrendered 20 potential minutes of progress. Reclaim it and watch momentum build like a snowball rolling toward an avalanche of achievement. Make it professional. Approach focus as executive strategy, auditing your inputs with data-driven precision. Use apps to track time thieves, setting alerts for goal alignment, much like Tate's unyielding routine that filters out the irrelevant to fuel empire building. In the boardroom, This means singular immersion. During strategy sessions, mute peripherals, lock eyes on the prize, be it revenue targets or innovation pipelines, and execute with predatory clarity, saying no to shiny but secondary ventures that dilute your drive. Tate's doctrine cuts through. True power emerges when you charge the bull by the horns, undeterred by the roar of the crowd or the gale of global noise, proving that focus isn't passive avoidance, it's active aggression, a force multiplier that turns average efforts into extraordinary outcomes. Hook locked, envision the elite at the summit, scanning the landscape while others scramble in the valleys. That's you, with focus as your vantage point, spotting paths to prosperity amid the pandemonium, because the unfocused fade into the fog, but the laser-eyed conquerors light the way to legacy. Refine this compass through tactical drills. Batch similar tasks to minimize context switching costs. Emails in one 30-minute window. Creative ideation in another. Freeing mental bandwidth for the battles that matter. Surround your focus with amplifiers. Curate playlists of high-energy anthems or podcasts dissecting mastery, but consume with intent, not idleness, ensuring every input sharpens your edge. In personal arenas, like relationships or health quests, apply the same. Zero in on quality connections over quantity or nutrition plans over fleeting fads, yielding results that ripple outward. This harnessed focus isn't a fleeting state. It's a cultivated supremacy, where chaos bends to your will and every directed effort echoes with the thunder of progress. No more diffused dreams. Lock on, launch forward, and dominate the path that lesser men merely meander. Envision this, a lone gladiator in the arena, sword gleaming but shield splintered, facing waves of foes. Now picture him flanked by a phalanx of battle-hardened allies, their synchronized strikes turning the tide into a rout of triumph, because no empire rises on solitary shoulders, but through unbreakable bonds forged in the fire of shared ambition. Brothers, the myth of the self-made man is just that, a myth. Because even titans like Andrew Tate didn't conquer alone. They built fortresses of alliances with like-minded warriors who sharpen edges, challenge complacencies, and amplify victories into symphonies of success. Isolation breeds vulnerability, where doubts fester unchecked and opportunities slip through solitary fingers. But surround yourself with a tribe of disciplined alphas, and your individual sparks ignite into a conflagration that consumes obstacles and illuminates paths to dominance. Hook into this. Elemental truth, your network isn't a safety net. It's your siege engine, demolishing walls of mediocrity when wielded with precision, turning me against the world into us conquering it all. Engage the blueprint, curate your circle like a venture capitalist scouts investments, seek mentors who've scaled peaks UI, peers pulsing with the same relentless drive, and accountability enforcers who won't tolerate your slips. Tate's ascent, fueled by a cadre of sharp operators in business and beyond, not sycophants nodding to every whim, but challengers who probe weaknesses in boardrooms and gyms, forcing evolution or extinction. Start professional. Audit your current orbit ruthlessly, classifying contacts by impact. Do they elevate your standards, introduce game-changing connections, or drag with drama and dilution? Excise the energy vampires, the complainers, the excuse makers, because proximity poisons progress, contaminating your mindset with their inertia. Replace them strategically. Join masterminds of high-caliber professionals. Perhaps finance forums where deals brew, or fitness collectives where iron meets intellect. Investing time as capital that yields exponential returns in insights and intros. Hook yourself deeper. Every toxic tie you tolerate is a chain on your ascent. Cut it clean and feel the lift as fresh alliances propel you upward, where collective intelligence multiplies your reach beyond solo limits. Make alliances operational excellence. Formalize them with mutual value exchanges. No freeloaders, only collaborators who trade expertise for execution, like Tate's network, swapping market intel for joint ventures that stack wealth faster than lone pursuits. Host quarterly war councils, structured sessions, dissecting goals, sharing war stories of wins and wounds, and assigning action items with deadlines enforced by the group, turning vague inspirations into concrete conquests. In corporate realms, this manifests as mentorship pairings with industry veterans who vet your pitches, or co-pilots on ambitious projects, their seasoned scrutiny honing your strategies sharper than isolation ever could. The engagement? It's electric. Imagine brainstorming a breakthrough over stake and strategy. Your ideas amplified by allies who see angles you miss, transforming hurdles into highways. Hook-locked, iron dulls in solitude but sharpens in friction. Seek that rub from warriors who demand your best, because a tribe of titans doesn't just survive the arena, it redefines the rules, ensuring your battles yield bounties shared in unbreakable solidarity. Refine the tribe through trials, invite only those who've weathered storms, their scars badges of resilience that inspire rather than intimidate. Tate's ethos resonates here. Surround with those who normalize noon negotiations after dawn drills, cutting the chaff that chokes growth. Measure success not in headcount but harvest. Does this alliance yield referrals, refinements, or rocket fuel for your ventures? Adjust dynamically, promote. The proven, phase out the plateaued, keeping the circle lean and lethal. This isn't casual camaraderie, it's curated coalition, where shared accountability catapults everyone, turning individual ambitions into amplified armies that overrun competitors caught napping. No more lone wolves howling at empty moons. Build this phalanx and watch your world expand. Alliances becoming the accelerant that ignites your inner beast into a blaze no darkness can dim. Legacy isn't something you stumble into by accident. It's engineered brick by brick through relentless action that compounds while others hesitate. The world remembers builders, not browsers, and every day you either lay a stone or you add another excuse to the pile already bearing your potential. Here's the hook. Motion without outcomes is noise, but disciplined action tied to clear targets is destiny in progress. Start with a ruthless commitment to execution. Define 3 high-impact moves each more. Ning, attack them before noon and track the scoreboard like a CEO who refuses to be surprised by results. Goals are promises you make to your future. Actions are the receipts your future demands. Make your calendar a weapon. Time block the non-negotiables. Batch shallow work. Protect deep work with airplane mode, and end each day with a brief after-action review that asks, what did I build, learn, and break today? Hook, what gets measured gets mastered, and what gets mastered gets multiplied. Legacy requires bias for action under uncertainty. Stop worshiping perfect plans and start shipping imperfect iterations, because speed breeds feedback, and feedback breeds superiority. Send the pitch, publish the video, make the call, deploy the offer, lift the weight, then review, refine, and relaunch with sharper edges. Opportunity rewards aggressors who move first and improve fast. Build systems that survive bad days, morning routines that launch momentum, keystone habits that protect energy, and weekly sprints that convert ambition into artifacts. Your reputation is a rolling P&L. Deposits are delivered work, withdrawals are missed deadlines, and credibility is the compounding interest that opens rooms talk can't. Hook. Nobody argues with consistent receipts. Relentless action thrives in the right environment, so audit inputs like a professional, curate mentors who demand outcomes, peers who keep score, and media that feeds strategy, not sedation. Replace endless consumption with targeted study followed by immediate application. The lesson isn't learned until it lives in your results. When friction hits, zoom out to first principles. What problem am I solving? For whom? By when? And what's the fastest test I can run in 48 hours? Build a pipeline for your future self. Cue assets ahead, content, outreach, product iterations, so momentum survives mood. Guard your body like a profit center. Sleep, hydration, strength training, and clean fuel aren't luxuries, they're performance infrastructure. Action executed at low energy is mediocrity in disguise. Action executed at peak state is market domination. Hook, energy is the multiplier that turns 1 hour into 5. Professionalize your ambition with dashboards, deadlines, and deliverables. Treat your craft like a client. Pay yourself respect in advance with impeccable preparation and arrive to every arena already warmed up. When you win, log why. When you lose, codify the lesson and update the playbook so failure pays rent. Build assets, not errands, products, skills, audiences, relationships, things that work while you sleep and speak for you when you're silent. Protect focus by saying no to everything that doesn't move the mission forward. Average dies by 1,000 small yeses. Hook, your legacy is authored by the tasks you refuse to postpone. Move like a leader now. Communicate clearly, decide quickly, own outcomes publicly, and your life will scale to match the standard you set. Relentless action will not feel glamorous. It will feel repetitive, demanding, and sometimes invisible, right up until the scoreboard tilts and everyone calls it obvious. Keep laying bricks. Keep shipping. Keep moving. Hook, choose the harder path now. Bank the compound interest of decisive days and let your actions speak a language louder than opinions until momentum becomes identity and identity becomes inevitability, signature of a life engineered on purpose. Brothers, the cage is imaginary, built by your own hands. Today, smash it, let the beast roar free, and charge into the life you were born to own. You've got the key, now turn it. Execute without mercy, because the world doesn't reward the tame. It fears the unleashed. Go forth, conquer, build that empire. Stay savage.